Today I'm going to show you how to make a really easy, really fast, and really inexpensive chicken salad. I use a $5 rotisserie chicken from Sam's, and I will show you later that I get every single penny out of that $5 worth because I'm also going to make chicken bone broth. I'm going to use some pickles, some mayonnaise, but you could also use Greek yogurt or sour cream, whatever it is that you want, and some celery and some onion. I let my chicken cool down while I get the rest of the ingredients together. So I'm just going to take my chicken and set it to the side, and then I will show you a tip with not crying with onions. Hopefully you watched my video on garbage soup or vegetable broth, because then you will know that you need a Ziploc bag, and you're going to keep all of your scraps for that garbage soup in the future, and you're going to put them in the bag, and then you're going to put them in the freezer. And speaking of freezers, you cut off the ends of your onion. I'm going to peel your onion. Put all this in your garbage soup bag. And then while you dice the rest of the vegetables, you're going to take your onion and you're going to stick it in your freezer. I've cut the gross ends off of the celery and I've put them in my garbage bag. And I've started cutting these already. But you're just going to slice these if you want celery. If you don't want celery, leave it out. I'm not eating it, so make it the way you like it. Next, I'm going to dice some pickle and add that in there. Steve, I make it sound like he's a picky eater. He is really not, but he is not a pickle fan. These aren't quite as dill as most, so he can live with these. I do want to say that when you buy pickles, you want to get them from the refrigerated section. Ones that are on the shelf have preservatives in them that allows them to be shelf stable. So if you get them from the refrigerated section, you know that you're getting natural ingredients, and you also want to check that they don't have any added sugar. To add more vegetables to the dish, I'm also going to dice up some lemon cucumbers. These came right out of our garden. They don't taste like lemons. They literally taste just like cucumbers. They're called lemon cucumbers just because they're yellow. Don't forget your garbage soup bag. Now that I have everything else diced, I've taken the onion out of the freezer. I'm going to get that cut, and I'm not going to cry. And after I get this diced, I'll come back and tell you another neat trick to do with onions. I'm the only one in the house that likes raw onion. And a little trick that I learned is if you dice your onion and then submerge them in water, it takes the bite out of the raw onion, and then Andrew and Steve will eat them. So I'm going to cover this with water, and they will be able to soak the entire time that I am pulling apart the chicken. I'm going to be transparent right now and tell you that I'm not going to show you all me taking the chicken apart, because I have a weird thing about touching meat, whether it's raw or cooked, with my hands. So I put on gloves to do this, and nobody needs to watch do that. I take the skin off and set it to the side, and then I'll pull the chicken apart and put it in a separate bowl. And then I set the bones over to get ready to make the bone broth, which I'll do at the very end of this. So I'll come back after I get the chicken taken apart. I ended up doing 2 chickens, so I had to change to a larger bowl. Now I'm going to use Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. It doesn't have any carbs, and it's 90 calories in a tablespoon. But like I said at the beginning, you could use ranch dressing, you could use Greek yogurt, you could use sour cream, just whatever it is you want to use, but I'm going to use mayonnaise. And I always start out by adding a little, because I can always come back and add more. I'm going to pour in my pickles and my celery and my cucumber. Then I'm going to drain my onions and I'll add those right after. Just stir it until it's combined. This is the bones from one of the chicken, and I put it inside of a strainer that fits right inside of my Instant Pot, and I covered it with water. And now I'm just gonna put the lid on it, and I'm gonna set it to seal. I'm gonna hit the broth button. I'm gonna set it for 15 minutes, and I'm gonna let it go. When it is finished cooking, I do release the valve myself. I don't let it do a slow release. And then I'll be back and I'll fill up the container, and then I will take this chicken out and put the other chicken in. See you in a bit. I'm back. This video is going to look a little different than the other one. The camera that I use for recording, I couldn't get all of the angles of this. So for $10 in chicken, that's two $5 rotisserie chickens from Sam's. I got 9 containers of chicken salad. I got 4 16-ounce containers of homemade chicken bone broth and 8 containers that are 32 ounces. So it was $10 in chicken. It was probably $5 in bits and pieces. That is money well spent and refeeding done in an extremely healthy way. That broth can be used just for sipping like that. You can use it for dirty fasting. You can use it for breaking your fast, or you can use it in recipes that call for stock or broth. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will wrap it up by saying